I saw this clip, link in the description below, of Eddie Hearn responding to a heckler, a fan who was having a go at him as he was leaving the arena following AJ's loss to Usyk. And look, Eddie Hearn is a much more patient man than me. I would have snapped back at fans long before Eddie Hearn. But in this particular instance, snap back he did. And it is quite amusing seeing somebody as cool and slick as Eddie Hearn get a little riled and confront somebody the way that he did in this short video. So the fan is calling Eddie Hearn some names. Eddie Hearn stops, turns around, confronts the fan in kind of aggressive fashion, and the fan goes silent. And Eddie Hearn said, "Not saying anything now, are you?" And then he walks off. Hilarious stuff. And that's definitely going to be going viral. It must be going viral right now on the internet. And boxing is all about entertainment at the end of the day. Don't get it twisted. A lot of the abuse that Eddie Hearn gets and public figures in general is way over the top in terms of people stalking them on social media and sending them DMs and saying horrible things about them, constantly tagging them in posts saying horrible things. That's over the top. You want to say horrible things, say horrible things. You don't have to tag the guy. You don't have to DM him. You don't have to hurl abuse at him when his fight has just lost as he's leaving the ring. To me, that's over the top. Yeah? But that's people for you. Eddie Hearn responding the way he did was amusing. And it also put a lot of these hecklers and these trolls into perspective. Because most of them are jokers who wouldn't say the things to you in real life that they say online, or they wouldn't say the things to you face to face that they can behind the safety of a barrier when they are blended in to a massive crowd. So salute to Eddie Hearn for actually backing this guy down and calling his bluff. I do wonder though, with Anthony Joshua, what is going through Eddie Hearn's mind? Is he thinking, I might have to cash Joshua out? Is he thinking, this Usyk fight could be it? The end of AJ as an elite level heavyweight, at least for now? Is he thinking that he needs to start paying more attention to the other heavyweights on his roster and maybe looking at a replacement for Anthony Joshua? People get so caught up in Eddie Hearn being friendly with a lot of his fighters, but how friendly is he going to be when the fighter is no longer bringing in the money or the attention from fans that they used to bring in? We've heard from people like Anthony Sims Jr., not that he was ever a huge pay-per-view star or anything like that, but people like him, Yella Yusinov as well. When they weren't performing the way Eddie Hearn wanted them to perform, he stops answering their calls. He's not renewing people's contracts. That's what happens. And I'm not saying that this is something which is unique to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is relatively kind of a nice guy as boxing promoters go. But he's not that nice. He's still all about the bag. He's still all about the money. And just like any other promoter, when you're not bringing that same kind of money in, when the fans are not really buying tickets for your fights the way they used to, when you've kind of gone out of favor with the public, you tend to go out of favor with the promoter a bit too. This is why I'm constantly banging on about fighters not getting emotionally attached to promoters, broadcasters, worrying about loyalty and all this kind of stuff. As a fighter, you got to be selfish. Don't let none of these entities like promoters and broadcasters, managers, trainers, gas you up into thinking that they are genuinely your friends and it doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about the fame. It doesn't matter about the sponsorships and the fan adulation. Even without all that, they'd still be with you. Don't let them gas you like that. Even if it's a trainer who's been with you like Rob McCracken since you were an amateur, and it wasn't AJ's first trainer or anything like that. It's only when AJ got into Team GB that he was working with Rob McCracken. Obviously, these people understand that this is a fighter who's going to bring me success. Not just himself success, but me. That's what the amateur coach or the Team GB coach is thinking. Our team is going to have success. I'm going to do better if this talented young heavyweight here does good for us. So this idea that it's all totally selfless and they look at you the way that a parent would look at their child, come on, people. Very, very, very rarely is it ever like that. Unconditional love or unconditional friendship or unconditional attention. No. It comes with conditions. And those conditions tend to be the more successful you are, the more tickets you're selling, or in the case of amateurs, the more medals you're bringing home, the more loyalty that the trainer or the manager or the promoter, etc., is going to have for you in most instances. But when that dynamic changes and you're no longer as successful, all of a sudden people ain't quite so loyal. All of a sudden their friendship is conditional now. You see? Well, it was conditional all along. You just bought into the act. And I'm not just talking about the fighters. I'm talking about the fans too. A lot of them get caught up in these fighter-trainer or fighter-promoter relationships. I remember when Carl Frampton was with the McGuigans. And there was rumors about issues between Frampton and the McGuigans. And when I made a couple videos about it, there was people in the comments saying, oh no, it's a load of nonsense. Frampton and the McGuigans are like family. Barry treats Frampton like it's his son. There's no way they could have a big bust up and people sue each other and all this business. What happened? It ended very acrimoniously. So that is what can occur in boxing. And this is why, just a few days prior to the AJ Usyk fight, I was very alarmed by the fact that AJ signed a career-long deal with Matchroom. To me, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. And if disaster doesn't happen from that deal right there, and I'm talking about disaster for AJ, not for Hearn. If disaster doesn't occur from that situation, then it's an oddity. It's a rarity. Because normally when fighters sign very long contracts, never mind career long, just very long, multiple years, 5-6 years or whatever, it usually ends badly. It usually ends in tears. For the fighter, far more so than the promoter. Anyway, to bring it full circle, entertaining stuff with Eddie Hearn, having a go, confronting the heckler. If you haven't seen the video, I've linked it in the description below. Let me know what you think. I'm out.